Welcome back to Beam City Sports.
Beam City Sports.
Another day here on 96.5 FM. No Luke today, but still my boy Dev with me. We got some big news just came out. Breaking news.
Just dropped.
Yeah, about 2 minutes ago. The Kings just traded for Jonas Valančiūnas. Yes, it's a big trade right there after, the De'Aaron Fox trade. We still haven't talked about that. Also, haven't talked about the Luka Dončić for Anthony Davis trade.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely going to get into all that today. Also, the Kings play tonight. They play the Orlando Magic, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But, Luke is in Vegas. He will be back very soon. Miss you, Luke. But we'll call in, get his takes on everything pretty soon.
Shout out. I had to hit my best Luke Mitchell impression to begin the show. Shout out him.
Yeah, sounded good.
We'll talk to him later. I can't wait to see what he thinks now about the Valanciunas trade as well. So we'll get into it.
Yeah, you and Luke have both been pushing for Jonas for months now. Months.
Honestly, just any big to come in off the bench. And Valanciunas, he cooks the Kings, so I'd rather see him on the Kings than not. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I've been kind of against it. He's very slow-footed center, but he is very good on the offensive end. Just a little scared about the defense, but we'll figure that out.
Same thing with Zach LaVine too.
Same thing, yeah.
But just get him to buy in, which Doug should be able to. I'm confident in Doug getting buy-in from both those guys, and we'll see how it goes. I'm excited.
Yeah. So all we gave up was C.D. Sissoko, who we just got from the San Antonio Spurs.
Shout out.
Thank you for your services
Kings
here in
legend.
Sacramento.
Kings legend.
Kings legend might get a jersey. Also, we gave up 2 second-round picks, so nothing too crazy. I'm not mad at the move at all. We needed the big off the bench, like you said. So big move for Monty McNair after getting pressured this morning by a lot of Kings fans at the media interview.
He was taking heat for sure.
Yeah, he was getting it. Pause. But I actually just got a chance to interview Zach LaVine.
Yes, sir. We had our own in the Beam City Sports' own in the building at the press conference. Zach LaVine today.
Yes, one of my new favorite players in the NBA for sure.
For sure.
That video will be posted on our channel of the interview. It was a fun time. But we should jump in. De'Aaron Fox is no longer a Sacramento King. We got to mention De'Aaron. Man, he had a crazy time here in Sacramento, 8 years. So how are you feeling about De'Aaron not being on the team?
It sucks for sure. Still like we were talking about earlier. Still gonna root for him. I don't know per se the Spurs as a team, but still obviously gonna root for his success. He had his family here, so obviously he feels like family to all of us. So, but it just sucks to see. But I'm just glad that if they had to do it and they felt like they had to do it, that they were able to at least get a player of some comparison back in return with the picks that they did. So it wasn't completely terrible. It just it's definitely going to be a win for whatever team got De'Aaron Fox, but it doesn't feel completely terrible like it would if we did something like the Mavs. Shout out to the Mavs.
Man, that Luka trade honestly made it a lot easier for us to trade De'Aaron.
I think, it happened, the day after, right after, and so that's what somebody said that in the group chat too. I forget who it was, but I forget what group chat, but somebody was like, it's just going to make it easier for the Kings to trade De'Aaron, and less than 24 hours later that happened, and that kind of hit like a truck, but it's on to the next. You got to keep it pushing. Yeah,
so the Kings gave up De'Aaron Fox, of course, going to the Spurs. Also, Jordan McLaughlin, thank you for your services in Sacramento as well. A good vet off the bench. I think he provided some leadership for us. But
I was at a couple games where he came in because they were blowing the other team out, and he was running the offense. So shout out Jordan McLaughlin.
Shout out.
Kev Herter too.
Yep. So the Bulls received Zach Collins, Trey Jones, our guy Kevin Herter, who is finally gone. Kings fans have been pushing for him to be gone. I still had faith that he was going to bounce back, but I guess we'll never see that again in Sacramento. But thank you, Kev. Some great times for Kev in Sacramento.
I think he will, honestly, with Chicago. I was still like you, and I wanted to have faith that he was going to turn it around. But I think he was honestly perfect candidate for one of those change of scenery guys. And I hope he does really well in Chicago, and I think he will. So, hopefully he finds his stroke and gets back to shooting like he was, Beam Team. And, he shouted out the first #Beam Team season in the little goodbye message he wrote. So, he'll always be a part of that, and we'll always appreciate him for it.
Yeah, love Kev, Red Velvet, Kings legend. But the Kings received Zach LaVine, C.D. Sissoko, who is now gone, of course, 3 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. But the 3 first-round picks aren't as good as we think they are. That first pick is the Charlotte Hornets pick this year, which is lottery protected.
Yeah.
And they're one of the worst teams in the league,
Yeah.
so that one will convey into a couple second-round picks down the line. Then we got the Spurs 2027 first-round pick, which also isn't that good of a pick. It will, they have De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama, so it's definitely not going to be a top, in the lottery pick.
3 first-round picks this year or something crazy like that. So, yeah, that trade will probably,
Yeah, and then so the best pick we got, though, is that 2031 Minnesota Timberwolves first-round pick. They have a lot of turmoil right now. Anthony Edwards is saying he's scared to get traded now that Luka Dončić got traded. So, curious to see what they do in the future. Hopefully, the Timberwolves, get rid of Ant in a couple years, and then we can get a good pick out of that, or trade it for someone better.
Yeah, or get Ant.
Yeah, that would be nice too. But yeah, back to De'Aaron Fox, man. Kings legend, one of my favorites of all time. It's sad to see him go, man. That was really, really hard to, stomach that. But in Kings era rankings, he is 4th in games played with 514. In points, he's 2nd all-time in Kings history with 11,064 points. Field goals, he's 2nd all-time. Assists, he's 1st. I know you were in the building when he broke that record. Yep. Steals, he's also 1st. And then for starts, he is 2nd all-time. So, man, Kings legend for sure. Sad to see De'Aaron go, man. Also, 60-point effort for De'Aaron, Kings franchise record. Me and Luke were in the building for that game earlier this year. So, man, a lot of great memories with De'Aaron.
Do you think they'll retire 5?
Man, I don't know. It was a weird exit. If he just left in free agency or, told us a little earlier that, he wanted out and didn't give us just like a week to get rid of him. I mean, he kind of did us dirty a little bit, in my opinion, giving waiting all year saying, up in the air about if he's going to re-sign, and then a week until the trade deadline, then he wants to come out. Rich Paul comes out and says, hey, he's not going to re-sign, so might as well trade him now. Kind of did us dirty. And he also came out and said he wanted to go to the Spurs, which also messed us up too, because then other teams didn't want to give us that much, assets back. So we didn't really have much to, many options out there. We had to send him to the Spurs somehow, and luckily we got Zach LaVine. But I wanted to ask you I don't think they're going to retire 5, by the way. I don't think they're going to retire 5.
I think they will.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they did. I wouldn't be mad if they did, but I just don't think they will because, I mean, we made the playoffs one time. I mean,
do any of those other numbers that are retired up there have any championships?
No,
besides
Big O.
No, well, yeah.
No. I mean, is DeMarcus going to get his jersey retired? He didn't bring us to the playoffs one time, and I mean, he's a Kings legend, of course.
That's where I'm like with you. I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like personally, I would, and I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't, and then the same thing with De'Aaron. But yeah, I mean, I could see if they didn't. Just a question I wanted to throw out there. I've seen on X a lot. People having discourse about it.
Yeah, that would be interesting if they did decide to retire his jersey down the line.
Well, we'll see if they get a chance to, get him back in his older years, and we'll see that might play a part into it as well. But we'll see.
Yeah, that could be fun. Well, what's your favorite Fox memory of all time?
Dang.
I gotta ask you off the top. There's so many memories, many game winners, playoffs.
I would probably have to pick one that I was there for. But there's so many. But if I could probably pick one. Honestly, I wasn't in the building, but the 38 in Game 1 of the playoffs was definitely like, just being in the outside of Golden One for that, like on K with the 3 screens on the parking garage, and just being around Kings and Warriors fans around James, and we were just screaming at each other after every bucket. So that was definitely probably one of my favorite memories. Yeah. Another one could be like you remember the Pistons game we went to, the Beam Team year, the dunk when he switched on Ivy hella quick and. So that's another one, but there's just a lot. There's a lot for sure. What's yours?
There's so many. I was at De'Aaron's first NBA game of his career. It was against Houston.
Yeah. In the 60, it's probably tougher for you to pick, too.
Yeah, it's tough because, I was at his first game. He came off the bench. I remember George Hill started over him. Shout out. But, my favorite memory is probably going to be that 60-point game, man. I've never seen a scoring, output like that, and we were down 20 at halftime, and he did everything he could to bring us back
in person too. It was probably nuts.
Me and Luke couldn't talk the next day, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We were going crazy, but
not doing your job if you come home from a game and can't talk the next day.
Exactly. Well, yeah, so how do we feel about Zach LaVine though, man? Just interviewed him today, so I'm very, very excited about what Zach LaVine's going to bring to the
Honestly,
team.
Excited too. Great. He's one of the best scorers in the NBA, honestly, and seeing it in person, we got to see it in person about a month and a half ago. And, that just makes all the difference. He's shooting 44% from three this year. Like, that's pretty insane. I saw some nerdier stat, but it was like his shot selection or whatever is like F, and he's still shooting 44% from three. So his shot quality.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Him and DeMar are like the worst shot takers, but they make them.
And so, and obviously him and DeMar got that rapport, so that'll fit, right in. And like I said earlier, he might not be the better player than De'Aaron, and I definitely don't think he is, but I think the fit with the team might be a little bit better than it was with De'Aaron.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I think this might be, De'Aaron, like you said, is the better player, but this might be an upgrade, just from based around how we play. We can finally play Malik at the full-time one, which, he's been doing so good at all year.
Yep.
And I think his playmaking is very underrated around the league. People on ESPN are talking like now they're going to play Malik Monk at the point guard, and he's a scoring guard, but honestly, he's the best passer on the team, and he's been that for a while. Him and Domas, for sure.
Just the ones that they don't watch, they don't know. So.
Exactly. They're not watching. But Zach LaVine, like you said, 40% from three, averaging 24 points a game this year. Honestly, probably his best year of his career this year, and that's saying something. A two-time All-Star, two-time slam dunk champion. He's super athletic and, is a walking highlight reel. So it's going to be fun to watch, and I think Kings fans are going to fall in love with the game of Zach LaVine.
Somebody said the first Zach LaVine dunk in Golden One's going to hit like that first sip of McDonald's Sprite.
Oh yeah, that's going to hit.
I was like, that's a great analogy. That's crazy.
That is. Hopefully we see one tonight. And he also talked about in the media press conference that he hopes to light the beam tonight. So he's on board with the beam.
His goodbye thing to Chicago, he ended it with a hashtag light the beam. I was like, he's already a Kings legend.
Love to see that. Okay, another question, kind of a fun one. Where were you when you saw De'Aaron got traded?
Dang. So I was at home in my room. It was on Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday.
So, the shout out to the NFL Pro Bowl, flag football game. But that was on. So, me and my family went out to Mongolian to eat for a little bit. We came back. That was on. So, I cracked a little adult beverage, and watched the rest of the flag football game.
Yeah.
And then I went upstairs, and it was like an hour later, and I saw it, and everybody started talking about it, and sent it to the group chats. You sent it to me and Luke, so I was like, damn, it's real. It happened.
So you saw it an hour late?
No, It was just like, that was just what I was like an hour later. I was just chilling, and then and then we talked about it for about an hour, and then I think James, shout out to James, he said, we need these 2K runs for the soul, or it was good for the soul. So we all hopped on rec, and we kind of just played all night, and we all drank, whatever we were drinking, just had a, kind of a goodbye ceremony, like I would call it, and poured one out for
the dead
De'Aaron.
homies.
That's what Jay said. So
that's funny.
But yeah, that's the night I had, but when it first hit, I was definitely sick for sure for a couple hours for sure.
Yeah. Well, for me, I was working at Ruth's Chris, and
did you not see it later then?
I saw it. So I went and did a bathroom check to get away from all the work for a second, and I saw it 2 minutes after it got posted of every Twitter notification.
The perfect time.
Yeah, I did. In my mind, I was thinking about it all day because the Luka trade happened, and I was like, on my way to work listening to everyone talk about the Luka trade.
On edge.
And just on edge, yeah. And I was just thinking like, man, I just woke up that morning thinking like today's probably the day that he's going to be gone. So I had a feeling. So I was checking Twitter all day, have Sham's notifications on. And then I go to the bathroom at work, and I see the Twitter notification, and I was scared to, use my Face ID to go look at what it was. And then I saw... The first thing I saw was San Antonio Spurs are acquiring De'Aaron Fox, and I was shook.
Yeah.
I was scared we were going to get, like, Keldon Johnson and like, Zach Collins and all these guys back, and I was like, oh, no. But then I saw it was a 3-team deal. I brought that 3-team deal up on the last show we had, too.
Yeah.
That, Zach LaVine could be coming to the Kings, and it ended up. I was actually really hyped when I saw it was Zach LaVine. I was like,
I know you were.
Really
you definitely called it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see, thankfully... the screenshot that somebody sent to the group chat was of the one with De'Aaron in the Spurs uniform and Zach LaVine in the Kings photoshopped in. Then so I was like, okay, that's who we got. So I wasn't immediately scared that we didn't get anything good, but it would definitely hit different than anything I could probably think of in any other sport that I like or teams that I follow. It was crazy.
This is the hardest trade I've ever had to stomach. this would be like you being a Giants fan and the Giants trading Buster Posey or something like
and,
that.
They let all their old players ride out until the wheels fell off.
Exactly.
So thankfully, I didn't have to deal with that. So, yeah, this is like the first thing like that, I've kind of had to deal with. I know, shout out to the A's, you've kind of dealt with it a little bit more, but this one is definitely different. Like, definitely different from those baseball, like, I mean, it's De'Aaron, so.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I've been through a lot of tough trades in my A's fandom, career. Josh Donaldson, definitely the hardest one.
That was like the first one, the craziest one,
Yeah, and Cespedes, you were with me when the Cespedes one happened, man.
Shout out to your dad.
That was crazy. Well, I think we got Luke coming on the line in just a minute or two, so, anything else on De'Aaron you want to say about, just give him some thanks for, being such a great team.
Like how many coaching changes did he have in that 8 years? Like 5, something like that?
Gotta be around there.
Just going through all that and sticking through it. I mean, he never once complained about it or whatever. And, it was only a couple years ago that the stuff started coming out that it was like, make the team better or I might not want to be here anymore. He wants to win. So you can't fault any player who wants to win, really. And so, definitely big thanks. And I'm excited to see what Luke has to say. I know he's got some stuff, and, like us, he was probably shook by it, but I know he's probably pretty excited about it. So
yeah, we're getting him on the air right now. Luke, you are live. How you feeling?
Feeling good. How we doing, Beam City Sports?
Yeah.
Reporting live from Las Vegas right now in front of the Bellagio, in front of Caesar's Palace. It's a beautiful day here in Las Vegas.
Oh, man, we miss you over here.
How we doing in Sacramento?
We're good, man. We're good. We feel good. Jonas Valančiūnas, I know you
yes,
saw.
Sir.
You've been pushing for him.
I've been pushing this for a long time, and I'm very happy we finally got it. It's I started to freak out here in
I know you were excited,
in
Las
Vegas. It was amazing. Nobody knew what I was freaking out about because obviously nobody cares, but this is a big pickup for Sacramento.
Yeah.
Big pickup for Sacramento.
Yeah, we're hype.
Coming off he needs to come off the bench, obviously. He needs to come off the bench. Sabonis is the true center. We need Keegan at the 4 for that stretch. We need him to be able to play in and out. Jonas is going to be perfect to come off the bench. I'm so happy about this. Like, I'm ecstatic right now about this trade.
Yeah, we can tell. We're hyped over here, too. I've been kind of against Jonas for a while now, but I'm on board now. We didn't give up much, so I'm with it.
I'm okay. I mean, obviously, I would have liked to see Cisco play here in Sac or Cody. It would have been amazing to see Cody play here. But we're not in a rebuilding mode right now. We are in a win now mode.
Yes.
Washington is in a rebuilding mode. So it makes sense. Jonas, only 29 still. He's not even 30 or 28, something like that.
Damn.
So him and Sabonis, the Lithuanian connection right there is going to work out tremendously. They play with each other on the Lithuanian international team. So there's going to be chemistry there. That's one thing that I was going to miss about De'Aaron is the whole chemistry hole. But we traded De'Aaron for LaVine. That keeps the chemistry right there with Debo right there and the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And then we add the Lithuanian connection right there. They've already played together multiple times. Amazing chemistry right there. Amazing.
That's a great point. I think the locker room might be, a little more together now than it ever has been. I'm down with that.
So one thing I also wanted to mention is, so I'm here in Vegas to see the Tears for Fears. So I have a little monologue right now for the De'Aaron Fox trade.
Yes, we were just talking about that. Yeah.
It's for those of you who know Tears for Fears is a great band from the 80s. Had a lot of big 80s songs all the way through the 90s and now. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But here we go. So when I first heard about this trade, I wanted to shout. I just wanted to shout and let it all out. But now everyone's listening, and they're all fucking letting it all out. The trade deadline, it's a mad world. It's truly a mad world, and everybody wants to rule it. Everybody wants to rule the world. The whole time De'Aaron was here, I was head over heels for De'Aaron. Straight up head over heels. But now we're sowing the seeds of love right now with this new trade. And it's going to be a good time here in Sacramento, I feel like, with this new team that we got.
That was beautiful.
Did
Luke.
you write that down?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Hell yeah. I'm happy I was able to call in, give my 2 cents about this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful here in Vegas. It's a great day. I wish I could be in the studio, honestly, or I wish we could, I don't know, maybe make this a traveling show at some point. That'd be great.
Yeah, we're down. But we miss you, Luke. We'll get you back on Saturday, hopefully.
Yes, sir. I will be there on Saturday.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
All right. Well.
Mitchell, man of the week.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I got you real quick. From San Antonio, it's going to be Brian Wright, the GM from San Antonio. I got to show love to him.
I respect that.
That's a good
he's able to get De'Aaron Fox without giving up Stephon Castle, without giving up Ben Vassell, without giving up their 2025 first-round picks, just giving up Zach Collins, who's, they could give that guy up. Like, Zach Collins can go anywhere.
Agreed.
And then also giving back the Bulls their rights to their own pick, which they already had because they're going to be a bottom 15 team anyways. They already had those rights because it's a fucking protected pick. So, pardon my French, but no, the Brian Wright is one of the greatest GMs, putting up there with Presti right now. Brian Wright, man of the week for Mitchell's man of the week.
Yeah, that's a valid pick. Valid pick. Spurs didn't give up anything, and they got De'Aaron Fox.
I know. It hurts. It hurts, obviously, but I'm still a lover of De'Aaron Fox. He's my man.
Pause.
All right. I don't want to hold up too much of your time. I'm sorry.
Okay, one more question, Luke. You're we're all still fans of De'Aaron, but are you rooting for the Spurs to, win now? Because I'm not.
No.
Thank you.
Because I'm rooting for the Kings. I'm rooting for the Kings.
Exactly.
To win.
Yeah.
Can't root, no. I'm rooting for De'Aaron. I'm rooting for De'Aaron to do good over there, but I'm not rooting for the Spurs to win. They're not my team, so I can't root for them to win.
Yes, sir. We like that. Okay. All right, Luke.
Good answer.
We'll let you go, Luke. Love you. We'll have you back soon.
Love you guys.
Peace
Hope
out,
you guys have
dog.
a good show. Hope you guys have a good day.
Yes.
Cheers.
Love you, gang.
Beam City. Okay, well, that was our boy, Luke, giving his 2 cents on the De'Aaron trade. Man, I'm a little mad about how it went down. Like I said earlier, he did us dirty with giving us only a week. And if he told us this when the Mike Brown firing happened, that would have been the time to do it. Then, maybe it wouldn't have came out that his preferred destination is the Spurs, and we probably could have got, a lot more pieces for that.
Honestly, if it would have happened in the summer, I think it kind of would have just been the same thing. Like, It would have been preferred destination. We kind of would only had one place to trade him to. So it just sucks that it came down to that. I mean, it does want to feel like he did us dirty, but I mean, like I said earlier, can't fault a player for being somewhere for 8 years that, kind of sucks, and then not really doing anything to get better once they got good. But
we did though. We got DeMar DeRozan, and DeMar DeRozan came to Sacramento because of De'Aaron Fox.
I understand that, but I don't like when people say that because that's like the DeMar was literally just a Harrison Barnes swap, but an upgrade offensively.
But you want to know something crazy?
If they would have got Jonas when Fox was still on the team, and obviously they wouldn't have been able to get Zach LaVine, maybe another wing, then I think maybe he plays out that next season with us, and then you you would have to deal with the same thing next offseason. But it sucks that it had to come down to that for sure. But like Luke said, we're not rooting for the Spurs, but hope
De'Aaron.
he does good for sure.
I still love De'Aaron, of course. But De'Aaron and DeMar are not cool anymore. They unfollowed each other on everything.
I mean,
you saw that?
I didn't see that, but I mean, I'm not surprised by it. It does, kind of suck that. They'll probably reconcile it later on, but, it's kind of understandable to a point. He got him out here to Sac, really, and, it's kind of, he kind of just got lucky. He got another guy out here in Zach LaVine, who he has spent the last 3-4 years with. So, I mean, at least he has that, but you got to wonder if, that also kind of, put us in a position with DeMar to where he's going to do the same thing in the offseason. Hopefully not. Hopefully that Zach LaVine, gets him to stay, but it's a crappy situation for sure.
We're in a weird spot, but honestly, we've been playing so good since we have had Doug as our head coach.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make me worry about the players. I'm not worried about the players at all or the team. It's just the drama was kind of unnecessary for sure, and then it sucks that it came down to having to trade our best player.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Domantas Sabonis is our best player. Let's not play around here. Domantas Sabonis. This is Sabonis' team.
Now, for the last 2 years, but that year they made the playoffs, De'Aaron Fox was the best player on the team.
I can agree with
and
that.
In the playoffs, best player in the playoffs. But I also agree, the last 2 years, it kind of has felt more like, Sabonis is, because he is, and, has become the leader. But it kind of has the last couple of years for sure felt like his team.
Yeah, well, I mean, we should go through, the Kings, projected lineup and who we're going to use off the bench now that we have another guy off the bench.
Yeah, excited.
So obviously Malik at the 1. Zach LaVine at the 2, DeMar at the 3, Keegan at the 4, and Domas at the 5. There's not a lot of perimeter defense in that starting lineup.
Yeah, I think that's what we're hoping that you could get, Zach LaVine, that Doug can get him to buy in, because I think he kind of has the tools to be a good defender.
He does.
It's just, the buy-in, he's got a good body, he's
You're right,
kind of built well,
Yeah.
and then he's, lengthier.
Taller
and
than
taller.
De'Aaron,
So
yeah.
I feel like, get the buy-in, and maybe it won't be good one-on-one, but team defense, kind of like Malik's not the best defender out there, and
He
he's
tries,
not as short or as long. Like you like to say, defense is just effort.
It
So
is, yeah.
hopefully he gets that buy-in, and then, same with DeMar. That doesn't look a lot better defensively, but, hopefully the team-wise, they could be a little bit better, and that's, I think, all you really need when we just got one of the best scorers on the other side in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. And off the bench we'll have Keon, Devin Carter, Jonas Valančiūnas, Trey Lyles, and then maybe Isaac Jones still gets minutes, maybe not. Maybe we go get another wing. Maybe Monty's not done.
Dougie McBucket
No.
minutes.
I mean, if we need shooting, maybe. But
Yeah.
But honestly, Keon has been so good. This whole year, but especially last game. With no De'Aaron, of course,
Yep.
and no Zach LaVine yet. Keon played so good, and he was the biggest reason we won. He locked up Anthony Edwards, one of the best players in the whole league, and he's just one of the best defenders in the whole league. And it's like, with that starting lineup with not a lot of perimeter defense, who do you think is going to have to, sacrifice the most minutes? I think it's going to be on a game-to-game basis,
Yeah.
but Keon needs to play 30 minutes a game,
Honestly, matchup-wise, for sure, and then just, whoever is just giving max effort defensively that game is just going to be the one that stays on, whether it's LaVine, DeMar, and honestly, foul trouble will probably play a part too most of the time. But it can't be Malik anymore, right? Because he's the main. He's got to be your fox in the fourth quarter, and so it'll probably be split between LaVine, DeMar,
Keegan.
maybe Keegan sometimes. It's just situational. If Keegan's not hitting,
Play Keon.
I mean, he still does play good defense, but play Keon,
Yeah.
But I agree. He's definitely they got to do whatever they can to find the minutes for as much as they can for Keon.
Exactly. Off the bench now, we have a good bench unit now.
Honestly,
I want to say.
the bench feels like it's better. Like the names sound a little bit better defensively than the starting unit, which gives you a little bit of confidence that at least the guys coming in off the bench are good defensively, and we know Keon's good offensively. Trey Lyles, when he's playing I want to give a shout out to Trey Lyles because when he's playing like he was last game, I think he only had 8 points, 5 points, but that hustle, that's Trey Lyles at his best right there, and that's going to win us a lot of games, him playing like that. Big shout out.
Yeah, Trey's been great, honestly, ever since he lost some weight, came back from his injury.
Shout out Malik.
He looks so fast out there, and people don't expect him to, have that speed, but he's
flying and get the O boards,
and he's hustling. Last game, I think that was one of his best games of the year.
Agreed,
and
for sure.
His stats weren't, he only had 5 points, but he had 8 rebounds. Mm-hmm. So, also, last game, Keegan had 17 points in the first quarter.
And that was it.
Ended with 19. So he was 7 of 11 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3. So why?
I think he only took a couple shots in the second half, obviously, but
why don't we not get him more involved in the second half?
That's kind of the theme the last few years. It's been he had that one game where he hit a 13. How many threes did he hit? 13?
Something. King's record.
11,
I think.
something like that. And that kind of felt like the only game where we've seen them actually making it actual attempt to get him the ball every time, when he's cooking. And so, hopefully they don't get away from him like they do, like they seem to do a lot when he's having first quarters like that and first halves like that. But that first quarter is what we're going to need, and we're going to need him to make that jump.
Yeah, we need that. I hope Zach LaVine, adding him doesn't take too much away from Keegan. He's already had to sacrifice a lot with adding DeMar, and now maybe even a little more, but we did have De'Aaron, so it's kind of like the same thing.
I think I saw something where he only takes about 3 more shots per game than De'Aaron, and that's playing on a Bulls team where
no one else is scoring.
He's taking all the shots.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, hopefully it does good for – he kind of takes Keegan under his wing and is like, this is how you use your size, I want him to be dunking more.
Yeah.
Hopefully he kind of gets Keegan out of his shell that kind of way.
I could see that, We thought De'Aaron was going to be able to get him out of his shell, but De'Aaron is kind of a quiet guy too. He's not really out there too much, only when he gets mad.
And he kind of did it in the sense where his ISO game kind of picked up, but
it did.
He does this thing where he makes a couple of moves, and if it doesn't work, he finds Domas.
Yeah.
So hopefully that he can kind of get into taken those into more of like driving and finishing at the rim.
I agree. So last game, everyone in the starting lineup had to play close to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have that many guys.
Didn't have LaVine
Malik had 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists in his first game as the full-time point guard. Loved how Malik played.
Yep.
He was a dog out there. Also, just got to mention, we're 12-6 under Doug Christie, so that's a really good record. But this road trip that we were previewing it a lot. You predicted we to go 6-0, maybe? Is that
I think it
5-1?
was 5-1,
Yeah.
and we did the opposite. So
We win 2-4.
I was kind of right. Oh, okay.
2-4.
Honestly,
This
just glad
road
they
trip
came
broke
back
us
over
apart.
500.
Yeah.
And it was all the
Drama.
It wasn't even, the playing wise. Like they were playing so good going into that, and then all that stuff hit. And honestly, you kind of knew it was going to happen after the OKC game because they kind of looked like they quit in the second quarter of that game.
That game was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But DeMar last game had 33 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 of 4 from 3. So love to see when DeMar hits a couple
It's
threes.
the quietest 30 points every time I see him have 30
But
because
it's always in the fourth.
It's always in the fourth, and it's just because those twos are like they don't really pop off the screen unless you're like watching it. Like I know we do now because we have a lot more appreciation for that watching them all year.
middies,
but that doesn't really pop off the screen, and then you look up and you're like, he's 33 points.
Yeah.
Only hit 2 threes. So yeah, I love when he plays like and the way he plays is just amazing, and
He's so good.
Dude, one of the best just pure shot makers in the NBA. Like he throws the ball up from whenever position, whenever, anywhere on the court, and I'm always like, it's probably going in.
Yeah.
If it misses, I'm surprised, low key.
He's so good, especially at, contested, tough shots.
Yeah.
So, every time he takes them early in the year, I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And then he would make it. So now I'm a full believer. I think every time DeMar shoots it, I think it's going in too. Nas Reed killed us. He had 30 points.
Dude, that was insane.
Started out so hot. I think he was 4 for 4 from 3 to start out. But man, he had 30 points. And now maybe adding Jonas might be a little more size to help down low. We didn't have a lot of rim protection. I don't know if Jonas is going to provide a lot of that, but we'll see. He's a big body, so that helps.
You're hoping, obviously, just because of the size, but I don't think he would have helped a lot, obviously, in the first quarter on Nas because he was just, like, hitting from outside. Like, we just weren't running him off the three like we should have been.
Yeah.
And I think if they were, it would have been running him into Domas. He wouldn't have had a lot of success, but he's an insane shooter, bro. Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He was pulling from 3 feet behind the line, too, his release is kind of slow too, but it's just like
and he doesn't jump really.
It's butter, bro. It's butter.
He's so nice. He was in Jelly Fam back in the day.
Really?
He's the big man in Jelly Fam. Yeah, he's the only one to make it to the NBA. So he's always had the guard skills, but he's just a big man. So yeah,
he's still got them ISOs.
Yeah, he's tough. Well, we can jump into the Luka trade, man. I got a lot to say on this.
Honestly, I'll go first then because I don't even got that much to say other than I'm tired of NBA teams helping the Lakers for no reason at all. Like
crazy.
That's probably my rant of the week, and I'm not even going to go on too long. I'm going to pass it off to you to take over. But just the NBA teams need to stop giving the Lakers help for no reason. Like, why was that the only team that Nico Holland, is that the name? Whatever, Nico Harrison.
Yeah.
The only team they said they called one other team, but why? Why'd they just go like, you know what? I'm going to trade Luka to the Lakers today. Like, that's just insane to me.
It's absolutely insane. This is the craziest trade in NBA history.
David Stern would not have stood for this.
This would not have happened.
My David Stern street outside of Golden One, he would have vetoed that shit so quick.
He would have. So it started out, Nico Harrison said that, him and Rob Pelinka started talking about this a couple weeks ago at a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And he just threw out the idea, hey, would you ever trade Anthony Davis for Luka Dončić? And then Rob Pelinka kind of was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like,
that's the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life.
And then there's reports that the Lakers were trying to, negotiate so they didn't have to give up as much. And they were getting Luka Dončić.
I saw that they were maybe going to give up Dalton. And then I don't know what happened, but they obviously didn't end up having to.
How did the Mavs, this is just insane. This is the worst, the Mavericks have the most pressure on them in NBA history this year.
Honestly,
to win it. Even if they do win it, it's still going to look like a crazy move.
There is a way to from that point of view be low key
we can win it this year.
They can, like, they still have Kyrie, and then pairing Kyrie with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has been saying all season he wants to play with a center.
Now
they got
two.
A couple good centers down there. So, you know, I mean, honestly, there is a way from that point of view to justify it, but, like, they just gave up Luka for Anthony Davis and a second-round pick?
Yeah.
Like, we got more for De'Aaron Fox, only being able to trade him to one spot.
Yeah, honestly, I think that Dallas could have got, like, a crazy offer. Like, honestly, if we're the Kings, I would offer De'Aaron, Domas, everyone on the team. And this is not a win right now move for the Lakers. This is like a generational move, like for years to come.
That's the thing, too. LeBron's going to retire in a couple years, and then they're going to have Luka for 10 years.
So the Lakers are just always blessed with the star, you know, all the way back to Kareem, to Magic, to Shaq,
Somebody
to
said
Kobe,
it was
to LeBron.
the NBA needed
Luka.
it. Like,
they
negotiated it because they need their ratings. But their ratings have been going down. They know it, and so they're like, we need somebody in LA after LeBron.
Yeah.
And dude, that Luka 77 jersey is going to be the top-selling NBA jersey for the next 8 years.
Yeah. When I initially saw this trade, I definitely didn't believe it. Of course, I thought Shams got hacked,
and he had to say this is real in like the second tweet.
Yeah. It didn't seem real at all. But honestly, I'm thinking in my head, like, is there something we don't know about Luka? Like, is he?
Yeah, for sure.
He doing? I mean, they did say his weight is around 270 right now, and he came into the year at 230. That's kind of a concern, but dude, he just got you to the finals.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, there better be something wrong with him if you just traded him for Anthony Davis and a second-round pick. Like, and like you said, like, if they would have opened it up to being like, oh, we might be looking to move Luka. Come make your offers.
Everyone would have offered
the craziest package
everything.
in NBA history they could have got.
They could have got 10 first-round picks and a really good player.
And instead, they make one of the, you could phrase it as dumbest trades in NBA history.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. And
so there better be something wrong with Luka.
Is he under the table, like, drug lord in Slovenia or something? Like that we don't know about? Like, that's what the thoughts are going in my head. Like, there has to be something crazy.
It's something crazy.
There's no way Nico Harrison woke up and thought this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, and he comes out and has this, media day where he's with Jason Kidd on the media stand, and he says, I believe defense wins championships. I believe getting an all-defensive center and an all-NBA, player with a defensive mindset gives us a better chance. We're built to win now and in the future. Dude, Luka Dončić is the best player to win now and in the future.
And AD is in his late 20s, almost
32.
30. He's 32?
He's 32.
Bruh.
He's 32.
Oh,
He's 32.
Insane, dude.
Insane, dude.
And it had to be the Lakers. Why?
Yeah. I mean, dub for the Lakers, honestly, because they didn't have a direction after, LeBron and AD left. They don't have a lot of picks. They don't have any good young guys, really, besides Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect. And now, and they didn't even have to give up Austin Reeves. It's like crazy that all they had to give up was Anthony Davis and Max Christie and one first-round pick.
Oh, they gave up Max Christie, too.
Yeah.
Max Christie, a good player.
He's good. He went 4 for 4 from 3 last night in his debut.
Was good,
Yeah. But this is the first time in NBA history that two players averaging 25 or more were traded for each other. First time in NBA history.
And then we just did it for the second time?
I don't think... Well, Zach LaVine's averaging 24.
Oh, you said 25?
Yeah, 25 or more.
20. 25?
Yeah.
They're both averaging more than
25, yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
That's crazy.
And Luka was on... before that night, Luka was planning to sign the biggest contract extension in NBA history of $345 million, and now he can't get that.
Why were they like... Maybe it was just they didn't want to pay him that much money to not play defense and, kind of just be lazy up until it counts every year. A lot of teams will do it just because it's Luka and what he brings is crazy. And honestly, I would deal with it.
Yeah, obviously you have to deal with it. He's the top 3 player in the league right now, and he's 25.
But maybe sending him to maybe spending a few years with Brown. He gone, learn how to take care of his body well.
Hopefully.
Maybe get the motivation to do it. And even if he doesn't, it's still Luka, bro.
Yeah.
And people are saying maybe he doesn't even re-sign with the Lakers in a couple of years or next year, and then goes and plays with Joker, bro.
Oh shit, that would be scary. That would be scary.
He'll probably sign
He's
in
gonna
LA.
sign in LA. They're never gonna let him go.
Yeah.
Man, it's just insane. I can't believe this really happened. Like, where were you when you saw this trade?
Dude, I don't even remember.
You were
this
sleeping,
one.
I think.
Dude,
You woke up out of nowhere.
I was.
What was your reaction waking up seeing this trade?
I was like, why are these dudes blowing my phone up?
Did you
bro?
think it was real?
No.
Yeah.
I was like, because you sent it, and it was like, we just did the Inside Recess show.
Yep.
And so Luke that day had sent us the Fox one from NBA Santel.
Yeah.
And so I was like, is that another one of those?
Yeah.
And then I had to go on Twitter for myself. It's just one of those things where you had to see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and looked, and then I saw this is 100% real. I was like, dude. And I was too tired to even have a real reaction.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there on my phone. Bruh.
Dude.
And so, I went downstairs and told my dad, I was like, they just traded fucking Luka to the Lakers, bro. And he goes, what? I was like, it happened 2 hours ago, bro. How have you not seen this yet? And so he had to look it up, and then we just sat there both just honestly in shock and mad.
Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. I was with my lovely girlfriend Taylor in her room, and we were watching a show.
She
whatever.
told you,
No, she didn't tell me.
Dude, that'd be so funny.
So right away, every time I'm getting a Twitter notification, I only have Shams notifications on, so I know it's from him.
Yeah.
So every time I get one, I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
That's why okay.
So that's why I saw it. I saw it probably 10 seconds after he posted it, and I just start laughing. I'm like, what? This can't be real. And then I'm just like, I'm in denial. I feel like I'm still in denial about it.
Honestly, a little bit.
Yeah, it
until I
doesn't.
see him play. I think they said he's gonna play on Saturday too.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
and if
real.
he was gonna come back on Saturday,
Yeah, crazy.
Why'd the Mavs trade him, bro? He was about to come back.
They made the finals last year, and they have a better team this year than they did last year. And it was like, you don't think that this guy can get you to the finals again after? And there's videos of him, after making winning the Western Conference Finals, of him drinking a beer and then them taking the beer away. Let him do what let him live, man. He's getting you guys to the finals as the best guy at 25 years old. Who cares if he's a little overweight? I mean, look at Jokic.
They got Mark Cuban out of that building, and they're falling apart.
Yeah,
bro.
Mark.
He said he would divorce his wife before he let Luka go.
Yeah, and he's not a part of the, he's not a part of the decision making.
Yeah.
I mean, there was riots outside of Dallas.
God dang.
I know you saw that. People had a casket out there shouting.
I saw the casket.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
People
hilarious.
were going crazy.
Good internet.
As they should. But I mean, I just have no words. I was in denial for so long. I sent it to you guys, and I was like, this has to be fake. And Luke was just like, yeah, this is fake. There's no way. And then I keep refreshing, and I'm like, is this even Sham's real account? And it was, and it's just, man.
That would have been hilarious if you were just sitting there and Taylor, handed you your phone, and she was like, Luka Dončić just got traded to the Lakers?
Dončić.
And you're like, nah, yeah. I was so, I think everybody's reaction was kind of the same. You just sat there and stared at it for a few minutes, and you were just like, no way.
And it pisses me off that some, Laker fans are like, what are we doing? We don't have a center now. Bro, this is not for this year. This is for generational. Luke is going to be there for 15 years, and you guys are he's going to win MVPs and all this stuff. 25 in his prime, and he's just probably a top 2 or 3 scorer in the entire NBA. It's pretty insane.
Top 5 player on the planet as of right now, most likely.
Definitely
That's crazy
can't
how
argue that.
he's only 25 and been in the NBA for 5 years already. Shout out the EuroLeague.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that. Do you think if Luka went to the Kings, we would have traded him?
I saw everybody posted a picture of Vlade being
yes,
because they're like, Vlade was right, bro.
Vlade was right.
I don't know. Well, probably.
Yeah.
After what have just transpired these last 48 hours.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would hope not, dude. Then we would have to be outside there like the Mavs fans were, dude. I'd be outside of going crazy.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about the Mavericks? Chances at winning a championship this year. I mean, they have a good starting lineup. Take away the Luka trade. If you just looked at this team on paper, and you'd say this is a good team. This is a championship contending team.
Yeah. What are they, 6 right now too in the West?
Oh, they're below us.
Are they? They slid that far?
Yeah, they're below us. I'm pretty sure they're 8, right above us.
Oh, okay.
A half a game above us. We're 9, and it's all really
for
close.
A championship.
Kyrie, Clay, AD, Gafford, Lively.
Maybe they'll be one of the final, 6 teams.
No, I mean,
Like
they
second, they make a
that's a
playoff
disappointing
series, and it's disappointing. But
that would be I think Mavericks fans would riot more if that happened.
because they just traded Luka, and
Yeah.
he would have took them that much farther. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, championship, no.
Yeah. Well, my take of the week is that Nico Harrison is a dumbass.
Yeah.
He's a dumbass. We're not live on air, so I'm going to cuss. He's a dumbass.
Yeah,
What is he doing? It's just, I mean, Nico Harrison, he took over as the, NBA guy to make the decisions, and it seems like the new owners in Dallas don't care about the basketball side. They care about the money side more than anything, and that's just disgusting.
They don't have Mark Cuban's money anymore.
Yeah, they don't have Mark Cuban's money. They care more about the revenue coming in, but they don't realize this is going to hurt their revenue more than anything. There was so many Luka fans out there, and that makes them Dallas Maverick
even
fans.
More now.
And now there's Maverick fans that have been loyal for years, saying like, "I'm not a Mavericks fan anymore. I'm just going to be an NBA fan. I'm not even going to root for Dallas anymore. Not going to go to the games. Not going to buy the jerseys. I don't think anyone's going to be happy about this. In Dallas. And like I said, the new guys that took over are they don't care about the NBA side. And it's disgusting when there's franchises like that let people run it when they don't even care about the basketball side. They just care about the money.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
I mean, and the owners are they like an ownership group to where, because Mark Cuban was the owner, right?
Yeah.
And then he sold his majority stake or whatever.
To like some business people. So
did they bring in a new like GM and like did they appoint somebody? Because it's
I'm not sure, but I know Nico Harrison.
Obviously, the owners would probably be okay with it. You see this in the MLB all the time. Like, the MLB is one of the worst sports for it, but, like, small markets, they're just trying to make their money, and, they don't really care.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like how you're saying the Dallas people are, and I agree. They're trying to make their money, and they don't really care about the basketball side. Obviously, they don't if they just traded the best player in the NBA for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Well, Nico Harrison, like, he really convinced those guys that Luka Dončić is not going to help us win. He probably looked into the super advanced stats and just was like, and watched 2 games of the finals last year where he's like, hey, Luka isn't playing defense. And defense wins championships.
There's not one person in that building that was like, nah, let's not do this.
You know what's crazy? There was, and they got fired. He fired. Nico Harrison fired everyone who disagreed with him.
I saw he fired all Luka's people at the beginning of the season, too.
So he fired all those people, and he just wanted yes men around him. I mean, it's hard to be in that situation because if you say this is a bad idea when it's an honest opinion, it is a bad idea to trade Luka, you're probably going to get fired.
Yeah.
So those people in the front office were probably just like, hey, it seems good to me. I'm trying to keep my job.
Go ahead.
So it's crazy. Man, well. We're gonna have Jackson on pretty soon to talk. I know he's hyped more than ever.
It's good. Is he gonna call?
No, I think Saturday he's gonna come on.
Sick.
So, man, I want to hear from a Laker fan because I can't imagine how they're feeling right now. He was sad about the AD departure and Max Christie. I'm like, dude, are you serious? Like,
I mean, honestly, when I was talking to him before that show we did a few weeks ago, he was like, he's kind of one of those where he's like, honestly, I'm starting to hate the Lakers. Just like. They do some dumb stuff where blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I get that. And, but so, I don't know. Maybe he's one of those where like, no, we don't have a center. But, I'm excited to see what he has to say, for sure.
Yeah. I think he's going to be hyped, man. I think and the
yeah,
Lakers are going to get a big, and then.
Once he got over no AD, he's going to.
Yeah.
I think so by then, he'll probably be like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Do you think LeBron is going to get traded or leave LA before he retires?
No,
I don't think. I think he's staying.
They live in LA too, so it's like, he'll retire there, and so hopefully he does some good for Luka. And, tells him how to take care of his body, teaches him, says all this money you're about to get, use some of it to take care of yourself, and hopefully he shows him how to do that. And we get a healthy Luka for the next 10 years.
Stay off the hookah, Luka.
Yeah, but I'm just as a Kings fan depressed. For the next 10 years, we got Luka in our division, bro.
I'm kind of hyped about this Kings team. I know there's a ceiling on it. There's a ceiling on it, but I'm excited to see how we look with Zach and Jonas.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting a chance to see it tonight. At least no Jonas probably.
Yeah,
for sure, but
definitely not.
At least with Zach,
Yeah,
we
number
get
8.
to see how that works today.
He said he
6'8",
wears
number 8.
He wears number 8 because of Kobe. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah. I mean, are they not going to? They're going to let Zach wear number 8 after the great Rudini wore number 8? Come
That's
on,
insane.
Nah.
Rudy's number 8, probably gonna get retired for the year in 5.
Did you see De'Aaron wanted to wear number 2 in San Antonio, and that's Kawhi's old number,
Yeah,
and people came at him.
yeah.
So now he's number 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because Rissé.
Rissé at Texas Tech. Yeah.
Yeah, sad man. Sad. Never gonna see them again.
Bro, that was the first Sacramento's first family, bro. That was crazy.
It really was. Man, it's tough to see De'Aaron go, but we can jump onto ICU, and then we'll go over some potential trades that are going to happen in the next day or two.
It's good.
But my ICU is Matas Buzelis, the rookie from the Chicago Bulls. He had 24 points last night, and he's super skinny, white boy. He can shoot it, though, and he's super athletic, and he's going to be in the dunk contest, so look out for him.
They should have put him. We should have got him from the Bulls, bro.
No, they wouldn't. They're going to build around him.
Awesome.
Even though I don't know if he's a number 1 type of guy, but he's been looking really good lately, so that's my pick. But Kevin Durant is rumored to go to the Golden State Warriors again, and he said he doesn't want to. So that's a weird look. Why does he not want to?
Probably Draymond.
That is probably why.
I mean, honestly, that was put out that he doesn't want to go back.
Yeah, it came out like an hour ago.
No clue. I don't know why you. I mean, maybe he's just thinking. Honestly, what are they gonna have to give up? First of all,
Wiggins, Kuminga,
and then you get
all
there,
those guys.
and it's just you, Steph and Dre. And then you're kind of in a situation where you got all of these no names coming in off the bench, and maybe he's looking at it to where I'm kind of in a spot like that now. In Phoenix, they traded all their good bench players to come get me and Brad Beal, and now they're climbing back up a little bit as of now, but you see how that's worked out for them the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have no clue. Like, honestly, that would probably be, it'd be cool. It'd be nostalgic. I'd be mad. But, thankfully he doesn't want to go back. I'm going to say that now. Well, that's good for us.
I wonder if he really is going to get traded because Phoenix, then they're just blowing it up pretty much.
There's a possibility he might get traded somewhere. And, I wouldn't put it past any NBA GMs to, maybe he does go to the Warriors, but I think he will end up going somewhere.
Jimmy Butler, of course, rumored he wants to go to Phoenix. Jimmy's been.
Did he say that he wants to go to Phoenix?
Yeah.
I saw something about Jimmy to Golden State was maybe gonna happen, and then it didn't, and then but I think it was Wendy was on ESPN, so he's like maybe talks can spark up back there. Maybe Jimmy goes to the Warriors.
Well, what happened with that was that the Warriors said we're not going to sign you to an extension right away. And we want to see how you play. You're 34 years old. Okay. And he said, okay, never mind. Don't trade me to the Warriors. And that's what Memphis said to him as well. That's why he's not going to Memphis. Jimmy is just crazy for this. And
I mean,
I'm happy all this other stuff is happening around the NBA to take all the, highlights off him. Because, I'm over it. I'm over it. For sure. He better be gone, and I don't care where it is.
Just go somewhere. And, bro, if you're not that confident in your abilities, which you should be, you're an NBA player, you don't think you could have a good half of rest of the season to play for your money, then why did you even start all this in the first place? You could have made, what's he making, 40 mil too this year, 50 Crazy, mil? You could have just stayed in Miami and been making that.
And, he came out and said when the trades, came up earlier in the year, he's fine going to all 29 other teams. He just doesn't want to be in Miami. Then Memphis is on the table. He said, oh, never mind. Don't send me to Memphis. Now Golden State. We don't want Jimmy. We don't want Jimmy. You want Jimmy?
No.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Off the bench, but he won't do that.
Oh, my God.
He won't do that.
The ego would be crazy. Well, anyone else off the top that you think might get traded tomorrow, if you had to predict?
Cam Johnson.
Hopefully,
somewhere.
Man. We've been talking about it all year.
I mean, honestly, for the sake of, that we've just been talking about it all year, and for his sake, I hope he ends up getting traded somewhere. It doesn't even have to be the Kings anymore, bro. Just do something with him at this point.
I'm saying the Kings are going to get Cody Martin, the brother of Caleb Martin, who just got traded. I was about to say,
didn't they already trade him?
Caleb Martin just got traded.
No, okay.
Cody Martin is on the Charlotte Hornets, and he would fit perfectly. He's the wing off the bench that we need. So watch out. I'm calling it right now. Cody Martin. I would love that.
Hopefully they just, honestly, that's all they need right now. Wing. I mean, we get a wing and we'll see from there.
Yeah.
And just play out the rest of the season. But I don't know if it's Cody Martin.
Yeah.
That would be honestly low key probably best case scenario.
Yeah.
But if they just get some random wing, then hopefully that can happen too. Because honestly, you just need somebody with that size to come off the bench. Like now with backup center, and since Valanciunas is pretty good scorer at the center, they don't really. You just need a 3-and-D guy. Like get Kessler Edwards back, bro. Come in here and he can come off the bench.
Who did Dallas play last night? Because Kessler was getting cooked.
Really?
Who did they play?
Is he playing for Dallas right now?
Yeah.
I saw he played a couple days ago.
Because they have no one on the roster right now because everyone's still moving in and all that.
I don't know.
Man, I don't know. But
he got cooked?
He got cooked a lot.
All right, he's off the table.
Well, I was honestly really excited before we close out. For CD Sissoko, I did so much research on him, and now he's gone. So
that's super tough.
Yeah, he was... Just to say, what I thought about him, he was a really, exciting player out of the G League in his second year, 20 years old, from France. Spurs were super high on him. He's a super versatile player. And honestly, his passing was something Greg Popovich said is his best asset. He's a very underrated passer. Mm-hmm. And I saw some highlights. He looked pretty nasty on the passing aspect, and he's super athletic. So
I saw that.
I was hoping he could be our guy, but
people said Pop always had a lot of good things to say about him.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll never see it in Sac.
Yep.
But all right, well, we're closing out on Beam City Sports.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back soon.
See you at the bar.
Yes, sir.